this is probably one of the more competitive matchups that we're going to have with the Bills going up against the Buccaneers. Who do you think is going to come out on top and why?
So let's not get this twisted. I got Tampa winning this, like without a doubt. Now it's just a matter of how it's going to happen. So obviously, Buffalo's defense is completely livid after being embarrassed on Monday night against the Patriots. And I know that broke Kyle's heart that they were just so distraught in the post game press conference that, Kyle was just so broken about how they handled that question that the media had answered. And, he felt bad that the Patriots embarrassed them by running the ball 50 times. Kyle, I know I'm speaking for you, but I just know it in your heart that you felt bad for that team. So I don't
Slightly.
know if Buffalo's. I know that Buffalo's going to come back and they're going to try to be a lot more aggressive on the defensive end. They're going to try to rush the passer. They know that Tom Brady is the lifeline of this football team, and I feel like they are going to come prepared to at least be a little bit more competitive than they were on Monday night. However, I do think that the advantage goes to Tampa solely because, one, they're the number one team in the league at stopping the run. Two, Buffalo does not run the ball. So even when they do, they probably don't even have to stack the box. And by they, I mean Tampa. So Tampa is going to be solely focused on just passing coverage. Now, that is also an issue because that is Buffalo's weakest attribute. Excuse me, that is Tampa's weakest attribute is covering the pass. So I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, are you going to get Josh Allen that was MVP at playing at an MVP caliber last season? Or are we going to get the inconsistent, indecisive, kind of hesitant Josh Allen? Because Kyle and I have said this on multiple occasions, on multiple episodes. Josh doesn't look the same. We have made the speculation of play calling, maybe kind of like a third year slump, a junior year slump, whatever you want to call it. But he doesn't look like the Josh Allen of old. The offense looks out of sorts, excuse me. And we all know that it sure as shit isn't because of their lack of running the football, because they didn't run the ball last year and they were 12-4. So whatever's going on in Buffalo needs to be sorted out, especially right now because they are playing against the defending champs. As you already know, the champs went into Indianapolis and they wound up coming back from a 10-point deficit. It's not something that I like to talk about, but they played a very good football team and they were able to come out on top with 5 turnovers. Now, Buffalo is going to turn the ball over like they have been lately. And if Buffalo is not able to keep Josh Allen from getting sacked or from getting hit, we all know at this point that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are capable of not only a comeback, but a dominant performance. So I got Tampa right now by 7 to 10 points, just because I feel like Buffalo's not going to be prepared enough for Tom and Leonard Fournette, who was on a tear lately, and because I just don't think, nor do I have enough confidence in the offense of the Bills to get through that stout Buffalo front six.
Diving into this game, I have to favor Tampa just on paper because, well, they've been the more consistent team throughout the entirety of the year. And it seems to me that even though the Buccaneers are sitting at 9-3, I'm still of the mindset that this team has another gear that they haven't hit yet. Because last year they had kind of a bumpy start, and then really towards like the last third of the season, they really kind of got it going. And I think that Tampa is definitely capable of that like last third of a season stretch where they really turn it on and they really kind of round into playoff form going into the playoffs. And I think this is one of those games where you could definitely see that, just because I don't think that Buffalo is the same team. Defensively, I still think that Buffalo is solid. Even though they had that close loss to the Patriots last week, it wasn't because their defense wasn't playing well. They held the Patriots to 14 points, even despite the fact that they got absolutely destroyed on the run game by giving up 225 yards on the ground to Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. The offense is the main part of this team that has really struggled with Buffalo, and it's been kind of perplexing because, Kevin, it's like you said, this team went to the AFC Championship game last year, and they were one of the most high-powered offenses that any team could show for in the NFL. And this year, it's a combination of factors that have led to Buffalo having an inconsistent offense this year. They're not protecting Josh Allen as much as they did last year. He has definitely taken more hits in that regard. I just don't think that the receivers are able to get the separation from their defenders like they were able to last year. And Kevin, it's like you said, they are just an inept team at running the football. And I think if they gave their running backs just more opportunities to run the ball, that they would be at least a more formidable offense. But with their inconsistencies in the run game, they're putting a lot of pressure, and they're putting the majority of the team's offensive side of the ball on Josh Allen. When that side of the ball is not moving because Josh Allen's not getting the job done, it's going to lead to a sputtering offense, and that's what we've seen from Buffalo so far. Now, this is a game where I do think that Buffalo could put up some points because Tampa's secondary is a little bit weaker, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome Tampa. I just think that Tampa is still too high power of an offense for Buffalo's defense to contend with. I don't think that this is going to be, I don't want to say this is going to be like a really high scoring game, like where both teams are like in the high 30s. I think this is going to be a game where I think the Bucks do crack 30, maybe 30, 31, and I think Buffalo gets to 23, 24 points. So I'm going to say the Buccaneers win this one by, let's say, 7 or 8 points, just because I just think that they're a more formidable team across the board. I think Tom Brady's going to have a good day. I think the run game with Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones is going to be solid as well. And we've even seen Gronkowski really kind of look like the old Gronkowski of when he was playing back with the Patriots just a couple of years ago. You combine those factors together, and if Tampa's defense is able to get some turnovers against Josh Allen and that Buffalo offense, I think it bodes well for Tampa in this game, and I think they end up winning this one. Like I said, 7 to 8 points. It's going to be a one-possession game, but I think Tampa wins this one when it's all said and done.